Well, it's time we put a close on 2024 and start to talk about what to look forward to in 2025. Okay, so normally I do these at the beginning of the year. I try to do like called a State of a Union kind of thing, look forward, master planning, strategic planning, that all kind of stuff. And you know what? They're lazy. I get it. And they never perform well. And well, if you don't like talking head videos, go ahead and just find something else. This isn't going to be for you. The analytics are going to suck on this video. The interest rate's going to drop really quickly. What do they call that? Attention, whatever. Something, not interest rate, not like finances, but if you're meeting for the first time for whatever reason, this would be a really weird jumping off point for you. But I'm Grant Tommy. This is Str8sixfan, your home for offbeat hot rodding. And yeah, like I said, I normally kind of do strategic plan, look ahead videos at the beginning of the year, but as I get into it, it'll make way more sense why I'm actually closing out 2024. So let's just get into it. All right, well, of course, the biggest thing that happened to me in 2024 was becoming a father. As you know, we adopted a little girl back in September, and so it's really going to be hard to overcome that, that milestone. But as far as YouTube goes, what I had struggled with the 2 years prior to 24, so mostly 22, got a little bit better in 23, but I fell off, was just consistency. And it was a job at the time I was trying to pour my heart into, and I should have just poured my heart into YouTube, to be honest with you. But as a result, like, something also changed with YouTube, where ad rates weren't as predictable as they were probably in like 2021 and 2020. And so like the financials related to that, and I didn't make very much money, and not that I really ever made that much money, but it was even less. And so wanted to restore some form of consistency, and we did that in 2024. We uploaded twice a month, and basically every month, and hit almost every month, the 8th and the 23rd of the month. Actually exceeded 24 uploads, and so pretty stoked about that. But this is the one thing that I know, this is why I'm doing this video here in 2024, is because looking forward to 2025, now being a father of a less than a 1-year-old, obviously free time is going to be at a premium. And I don't want to, obviously I've got a lot of equity in this channel, and I don't want to give it up, but I don't think that that's going to be sustainable. So I'll be honest, looking at probably just an upload a month in 2025. And so that's why we're doing this throwaway episode here at the end of 2024, because, and excuse me, dealing with COVID here, that's how we're going to close out 2024. It's a little sick. But, you know, yeah, each of those uploads is going to be precious if I'm only going to do one a month. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But the big news for 2025 is that March will mark my 10-year anniversary of doing this. So again, another reason why I don't want to give up the equity that I've built, a decade's worth of work. I mean, I would hate to just fold and just let go of what I've built over the years. That, I'll be honest with you, at this point, like, I am disappointed that I'm not a little bit bigger than I am. I don't know if you would have asked me 10 years ago, like, how many subscribers I thought I would have after that much time. I'm pretty sure I would have said more than what I have, which is less than 5,000. But that all being said, I don't know that I'm like extremely disappointed in where I'm at, like, because especially self-admittedly when I talked about 22 and 23, just it's a you only get out what you put in type of venture, and I definitely wasn't putting in enough. And even in 2024, I know I wasn't putting in enough, but I was putting in enough that I knew I could do, and I was sort of maxing out what I could do with my time, and that's what we'll continue to do in 2025. Of course, the other big thing was we finally got the Grand Prix done and wrapped up and ready for sale. Sadly, still no bites. No bites on it. I'm starting to think if we make it to 1 full year of it being listed for sale, which would be May, then maybe I just go ahead and bite the bullet and keep it as a lifetime test kitchen car, a build that maybe it's time for phase 2. Now, I've had dreams of building my own rat rod, and that's what I really wanted to start in 2025, but life has a way of throwing weird twists and turns at you. So who knows? I guess at this point, I'm not going to try to predict it. Just let it happen. Let whatever happens happen. Of course, the other big thing that we did in 2024 is we marked our 2nd year in a row of a road trip, pseudo cross country. My buddy Jason Carr, old car guy, and it was a blast. He actually, for him to find kind of his dream scenario of suburban, in more or less, I'll call it my hometown that I grew up in. Stretching it a little bit, it's really like 30 miles across. Like, I lived on the west side of Wichita, and he found this on the far east side of Wichita, and neither of these two towns were actually in the city limits. So I was stretching it a little bit, but had a blast. And I certainly, we don't know the opportunity, but I feel like this is one of those things I annually want to try to make happen. So Jason, we'll have to figure out, I don't know, maybe we find how about Newfoundland? Maybe we find a vehicle in Newfoundland and drive it down to your home and I fly back. I don't know. Obviously, there's a ferry involved and some really weird logistics there, but it'd be cool to meet Ryan in person. So we'll see. And then that kind of leads into my next point, which we were supposed to, me and Old Car Guy, we're supposed to launch a new podcast. I'll go ahead and spill the beans. We were going to call it The Breakdown. A play on words, right? Like if your car's, you're broken down on the side of the road, but really we were just going to break down topics about the automotive industry, just automotive topics. And if there's any reason why this met failure to launch status, it's all because of this guy. I mean, there were just some things. I mean, I built this backdrop wall for that show, and I bought a Wi-Fi booster for out here in the garage. We were going to do the show from out here. I got the new camera that I can live stream from. I can get killer depth of field with, like, check. But what happened is, it's still, even with the Wi-Fi booster and the processing power that the computer needs to live stream my camera, and the Wi-Fi signal just isn't strong enough. I guess I'm a cheap bastard. I don't want to upgrade my home internet, pay a premium month to month just for that. And so I was going to route Cat 5 cable out here to the garage. Actually, I was going to have a friend, a former acquaintance from that job I spoke of earlier from the yesteryear, and who does a lot of low voltage stuff. And just kind of never showed up. We chatted on the phone. We had a plan. He was going to come by. I was going to show him the scout route, like what I think works in my head. And just kind of ghosted me. Just never showed up. And disappointing, but that's kind of par for the course for that place where we worked together once upon a time. And so really, like, kind of made me just do that kind of thing. It's like, of course. It was kind of like that happened often there. But anyways, now I'm looking at like buying the material myself, and honestly, I probably am physically capable of doing it. The only thing that's really challenging that I find, and I guess there's YouTube videos out there, I'm just gonna have to figure it out, is splicing the Cat 5 cable into the female connector into the wall for the wall box. Like, I know I can install a wall box, post-install a wall box into sheetrock. I know I can probably route wire. It's just really that splice connection. So, I guess solid words of encouragement down in the comments below, and that'll fix that problem. But hopefully in 2025 we get that going, because as I mentioned, if I'm only going to do 12 uploads a month, I also just feel like the time commitment to do either a live stream or a pre-recorded podcast, it's like an hour a night. It's a lot less time than like spending 3 hours in the garage. So I would love to at least record 12 1-hour long sessions with the crew, Ryan and Jason, and have a good product to put out there for you guys. It would be under the umbrella of the Get Out and Drive podcast. So that's exciting because that's, there's a little more horsepower there from a just an exposure standpoint. And it's a great opportunity. And I really regret that, supposed to probably have, of course, adopting a child in September, of course, would hit the reset button on all things. We were going to, the original plan, I think, probably was to have been good to go by September. But as you know, obviously things kind of just change all of a sudden. But it's me. It's time to quit having excuses and let's just go. And anyway, if that sounds exciting to you guys, please also comment below and let it be known if that's a thing you have an appetite for. And as long as the Grand Prix hasn't sold yet, honestly, I feel like if we're not actively working on Project Car, you expect more like editorial style, kind of that old 5-minute Friday. It's what we closed out 24 with, the top 5 budget builds. But that exact topic, I'm finding in the analytics that the search for budget builds is pretty popular at getting people to my channel. So I think we're going to focus on just doubling down on really what does it mean to be a budget build. And so look forward to that. It'll either be the 8th or the 23rd of each month. Expect an episode out of me, and you know what, if I find extra time to win in the margin, I'm sure I will try to drop a 13th episode or a 14th episode, etc. But I'm just guaranteeing 12, 6fan times 2, 12 episodes in 2025. From the bottom of my heart, just want to say thanks to all of you who've been here for forever. It's just the beginning. Crazy to think it's going to be a decade come March 2025. Crazy to think it was just a 29-year-old me. We started with the Rat Rod radio flyer. We had the High Pinion and Dana 30. We thought we were going to solid axle swap my Ford Ranger and convert it into a 4-wheel drive. Way back then, it's crazy to think how this channel has morphed and become what it is. But to all my Six fans out there, thank you, and thanks for watching.